Shalom. All praises to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai Bashem Rachakwadash. Double honors to my apostles, the great millstone. Shalom to the hopeful elect. Let's get it. This is Zechariah chapter 5, verse 5. Then the angel that talked with me went forth and said unto me, Lift up now thine eyes, and see what is this that goeth forth. And I said, What is it? And he said, This is an ephah that goeth forth. He said, Moreover, this is their resemblance through all the earth. The Hebrew word for ephah is ayapah. Ayapah. Let's go straight to the Strong's definition. It says an ephah or measure for grain, hence a measure in general. It says ephah, diverse measures. So basically, the ephah is a measure. It says, verse 7, And behold, there was lifted up a talent of lead, and this is a woman that sitteth in the midst of the ephah. And that woman represents who? Zechariah chapter 6, verse 2. I have likened the daughter of Zion to a comely and delicate woman. And the daughter of Zion represents the nation of Israel, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, and Israelite foreigners scattered throughout the four winds of the earth. The nation of Israel is likened to a delicate woman. So the woman in Zechariah 5 and 7 is talking about the nation of Israel. Let me read that again. It says, And behold, there was lifted up a talent of lead. Now, I went on Google and looked up the definition for the word lead. It says, a heavy bluish gray, soft ductile metal, the chemical element of atomic number 82, has been used in roofing, plumbing, ammunition, storage batteries, radiation shields, etc. And its compounds have been used in crystal glass as an anti-knock agent in gasoline and formerly in paints. So basically, lead is metal. It's a type of metal. And the lead represents dross. Now real quick, I want to get the definition for that word, dross. The definition for dross, it says something regarded as worthless, rubbish. This is Isaiah chapter 1, verse 21. It says, How is the faithful city become a harlot? And that faithful city is talking about Jerusalem. It's talking about Israel. It says, that have become an harlot. And what is a harlot? A whore. It was full of judgment, righteousness logged in it, but now murderers. It says, thy silver is become dross, thy wine mixed with water. And the nation of Israel is also likened unto gold and silver. Okay? Now, when gold and silver is refined, they use heat, they use pressure, and also other chemicals to remove the impurities, right? And that's that dross, right? Them unwanted, them worthless metals. It says thy princes are rebellious and companions of thieves. Every one loveth gifts and followeth after rewards. They judge not the fatherless, neither doth the cause of the widow come unto them. So it says the nation of Israel is become dross. They silver become dross, right? And what is dross? Something regarded as worthless. This is Ezekiel chapter 22, verse 18. It says, Son of man, the house of Israel is to me become dross. All they are brass and tin and iron and lead. In the midst of the furnace, they are even the dross of silver. See? So the scripture says the nation of Israel became dross, they became worthless, and that it says they became brass, tin, iron, and lead. And all that represents transgression, wickedness. Zechariah 5:7 again, and behold, there was lifted up a talent of lead, which is that dross, that worthless metal, which is transgression. It says, and this is a woman that sitteth in the midst of the ephod. And we know that woman is talking about the nation of Israel. And it says, and he said, this is wickedness. Yeah, that this ephod is the wickedness of Israel. It says, and he cast it into the midst of the ephod. And he cast the weight of lead upon the mouth thereof. Yeah, Israel wickedness was poured into the ephod. It says, then lifted I up my eyes and looked, and behold, there came out two women, and the wind was in their wings. The two women is talking about who. You're gonna get it. This is Jeremiah chapter 3, verse 8. It says, "And I saw when for all the causes whereby backsliding Israel committed adultery, I had put her away and given her a bill of divorce. Yet her treacherous sister feared not, but went and played the harlot also." So Israel and Judah represents the northern and southern kingdom. Israel represents the northern kingdom, Ephraim all the way down to Issachar, and Judah represents the southern kingdom, Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. You know, the nation of Israel as a whole were wicked, you know. Yahweh Shah had to put us away for our wickedness. You know, he stopped dealing with us, right? Because we're his woman, we spiritually cheated on Yahweh Shah, right? We became a harlot. We committed spiritual fornication. Let's get that. It's Jeremiah 3 and 14. It says, "Turn O back, sliding children, said Yahweh Shah, for I am married unto you." See? So the nation of Israel is the Lord's woman, right? And we went off and started being wicked. So Yahweh Shah, he put us away. It says, "And I will take you one of a city and two of a family, and I will bring you to Zion. And I will give you pastors according to my heart, which shall feed you with knowledge and understanding." Yeah, so Yahweh Shah said, turn back. Nation of Israel, turn back to him, right? And Yahweh Shah did that by sending his prophets, all right? Our elder apostles, all right? And they elders, you know, they told us this truth. They brought us back to our power through the spirit of Yahweh Shah. But the nation of Israel was going off at the time, you know. As I mentioned, we were spiritually cheating on Yahweh Shah. Right, Zechariah 5 and 9 again, it says, "Then lifted I up my eyes and looked, and behold, there came out two women, and the one was in their wings, for they have wings like the wings of a stork. A stork is a bird. And they lifted up the ephah between the earth and the heaven." Then said I to the angel that talked with me, "Whether do these bear the ephah?" He said unto me, "To build it a house in the land of Shinar, and it shall be established and set there upon their own base." Let's look up the word Shinar. Hebrew word for Shinar, it says Shai Na'ar. Shana'ar. It says country of two rivers, the ancient name for the territory later known as Babylonia or Chaldea. Also says a plain in Babylonia. So when it says Zechariah 5:11, he said unto me to build it an house in the land of Shinar, and it shall be established and set there upon her own base. This means that the nation of Israel, both northern and southern kingdom, was carried away. To Babylon, Babylon the Great, which is America, to serve slavery, captivity, for their wickedness. Now we know in ancient Babylon, only the southern kingdom was held captives there. So that verse is not talking about ancient Babylon. It's talking about Babylon the Great, America. This is Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 33. It says, thus say Yahweh Shah of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Judah is going to the northern and southern kingdom. Israel represents the northern kingdom, and Judah represents the southern kingdom. It says the children of Israel and the children of Judah were oppressed together, and all that took them captives held them fast. They refused to let them go. It says the Redeemer is strong. Yahweh Shah of hosts is his name. He shall truly plead their cause, that he may give rest to the land and disquiet the inhabitants of Babylon. And both northern and southern kingdom were brought here to America through the transatlantic slave trade by enemies to serve captivity. And this was punishment from Yahweh Shah. Because we went off, as I mentioned, we're the Lord's woman, and we spiritually cheated on him. So he punished us. He stopped dealing with us. Okay? That was the point. Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. With that being said, Shalom.